You know who I am, Dwight? I was one of Elvis's best friends since we were kids. They called us the Memphis Mafia.
They sure did.
I think Elvis would be very proud of what you've done for Memphis. And I wanted to give you something very special.
Hi, I'm Curtis, an Elvis fan. I can tell you that visiting Graceland in Memphis, Tennessee is a rock and roll pilgrimage every kid needs to take. We don't have time for me to show you around the whole house, but let's check out a couple of the rooms inside. After that, how about we go for a behind-the-scenes look at the archives, then get a close-up view of some of Elvis's jumpsuits. If we have time, we may even check out Elvis's stables and see if any of the horses are around. After Elvis's music became popular in the 1950s, suddenly he was very famous. He decided to buy a big house out in the country for his family. When Elvis was very young, his parents didn't make a lot of money, but his home was always filled with lots of love. He wanted to provide something special for his mom, dad, grandmother, and other members of his family. In the spring of 1957, at age 22, Elvis purchased Graceland and 14 acres that surrounded the home. Graceland was built in 1939 and was a well-known mansion for people in the Memphis area. It was named after the owner's Aunt Grace. It was a beautiful home, and Elvis's family was very excited to move in. Let's step inside and take a look at Graceland. At the foot of the staircase is a picture of Elvis when he was a young man. If you look close enough, you'll see his hair was really dark blonde. In later years, Elvis would dye it black for movies and then kept it that way for his concert years. Right off the foyer to the right is the living room. Nowadays, guests don't actually walk around the room, but if you could, you would want to be careful since the carpet is all white. That sofa is 15 feet long. At the far end of the living room are stained glass windows that feature peacocks. These weren't the first peacocks at Graceland. In the 50s, Elvis had real peacocks, but they kept pecking at their reflection in the hubcaps of his famous cars, so he sent them away to live on a farm. On the other side of the stained glass windows is Elvis's piano. The piano was one of the best places to be at Graceland. Elvis, members of his family, and lots of his friends would sit around the piano and play and sing for hours. Around the corner from the living room is one of the most famous rooms at Graceland, the Jungle Room. It features a custom-designed waterfall and furniture with Polynesian theme. Elvis bought the furniture in the summer of 1974 because it reminded him of Hawaii. Elvis also loved monkeys, and you can see glass monkeys along with other animals around the room. The green shag carpet on the floor and the ceiling not only helped give this room its name, it also made it a great place for Elvis to record a couple of albums. That circular chair you see at the end of the room is so large that the glass window had to be removed in order to get it into the house. When Elvis's daughter Lisa Marie was little, she would take her naps in that chair. It was also a good spot for watching Saturday morning cartoons on the big TV that was later set up in the Jungle Room. Ever wonder who takes care of all these great artifacts so Elvis fans can enjoy them for years to come? Graceland has a huge archive of things that belong to Elvis and his family. The people who take care of that also take care of the items in the house. Let's go behind the scenes and meet Angie, who's the director of the archives, and see a few things that most people don't get to see.
Here in the Graceland Archives, where our Graceland guests do not get a chance to visit while they're here, but this is your chance to get a behind-the-scenes look at what's in our collection. Here in the building, we have everything from wardrobe to documents, photographs, as well as Elvis's personal film collection. It's all stored in a temperature-controlled environment where we can preserve the items for generations to come. An example of some of the things that we have here in the building are here in this first drawer. Here you'll find the original architectural drawing for Graceland. This was actually done before Elvis even owned the home. It was done in 1939. It just shows you how grand the house was for that time here in Memphis. We also have Lisa Marie's footprints from when she was born on February 1st, 1968 at Baptist Hospital. Also here in the Artifact Building we have close to 5,000 pieces of wardrobe. They're stored all in these gray acid-free boxes. We've got personal belongings not only of Elvis's but his mother Gladys, as well as Lisa when she was a baby. But one of the unique things that we have stored here in the building is actually stored here in this box. It's Elvis's wallet, and it's a very personal item that gives you a real insight on who Elvis was. And this is exactly the way that wallet was the last time Elvis was carrying it. And when you first open it up, you see a picture of Elvis and Lisa. Some of the photos that we've recently found, which were really quite amazing, we found in a closet in Gladys's bedroom in a shoebox. And these are truly what you would call family photos. These are things that a mom would save of her son. There are images of Elvis from when he was in school in Tupelo, his ROTC picture, him and his cousin Gene Smith, Elvis on a bike. Also some classic photos that you might have seen before, photo booth photos that we actually found. These are the original photos that are used almost every day on product and websites. And then fans would send Gladys pictures of Elvis while he was on tour. In fact, a lot of them came from Texas in '54 and '55, so Gladys could see Elvis on stage when she wasn't traveling. And so here we have fans that took photos with Elvis and photos of Elvis and sent them here for his mom to have.
To me, some of the coolest things, both in the archives and on display at Graceland, are the jumpsuits. They currently have 88 jumpsuits in the archives at Graceland. They tell me that the first jumpsuits Elvis wore were simple and included only a few male accents, but they evolved into what you see here. Flashy stage outfits with intricate embroidery work and lots of rhinestone studding. And because you already know how much Elvis loved pets, you'll notice some of the designs depict animals like eagles, tigers, dragons, and zebras. I think my favorites are the ones inspired by eagles. Elvis wore one of those in his Aloha from Hawaii concert, which is very famous because it was watched by over 1 billion people from all over the world. Another fun part about a visit to Graceland is, if you are lucky, you get to see the horses on the grounds of the property. The barn is out back behind Graceland and was one of Elvis's favorite places to go when he wanted to unwind and have fun with his friends and family. Elvis loved riding horses around the property and even bought them for his friends. The first horse he bought was named Domino and was a Christmas present for Priscilla in 1966. Much like Elvis's home, the stable on the property has been kept just like it was when Elvis was here. You'll still find horses at Graceland, and the latest additions are 3 horses that were adopted by Priscilla Presley, named Max, Bandit, and Tucker. All 3 are rescue horses, one from Maine and the other 2 from Tennessee. As you can see, a visit to Graceland is a great way to find out more about Elvis, and we've just scratched the surface of all there is to see and do. Elvis loved showing off his home, and today that continues with over 600,000 people each year making the rock and roll pilgrimage to Graceland to discover why Elvis was called the king of rock and roll.
This exhibit features a remarkable array of artifacts spanning Elvis's entire career.
It chronicles, Elvis's place in pulp culture, as well as the way it was covered by media and the way the media affected him and the way that he affected media.
The power of E is still alive and well as an attraction magnet of bringing visitors to experience what this cultural icon meant to our world.
What I think people will understand is how Elvis was a creature of the press, and that the great phenomenon of Elvis could never have happened unless you had him being outrageous and people responding to that, unless you had him on television, unless you had him on what was then, AM radio, which was king, and the way that the arts, and in Elvis, in this case, Elvis in particular, are really able to shape the society through the use of the media. And I think that's an important lesson because it continues today.
Now listen to me, baby, what I want you to know. Come on back to me, little girls, we can act like we did before. Now, baby, come back, baby, come. Come back, baby, come. Come back, baby, I won't play out with you. Hit it!
It's really good. He's doing a really good job.
Love it. Awesome.
Las Vegas with your neon flashing, the water band is crashing, all those hopes down the drain. Viva Las Vegas, turning day into night, turning night into daytime. You see it once, never be the same again.
We had a good time. We loved it.
It's great.
Loved Elvis.
But I ever did see. I saw